Within hours of Operation Epic Fury, the Middle East faced a dramatic new phase. Iran launched a large wave of ballistic missiles and drones across the Gulf, targeting multiple locations from Israel to Bahrain, Qatar, and the UAE. Air defenses activated across the region as authorities assessed the scale of the operation. What stands out is the speed and coordination of the response. The key question now, was this simply retaliation or the start of a broader, pre-planned campaign reshaping the region's security landscape? The scale of Iran's response surprised many observers across the region. Within hours of the opening phase of Operation Epic Fury, Iranian missile and drone units began launching coordinated strikes across multiple parts of the Middle East. Rather than focusing on a single battlefield, the operation stretched across a wide geographic area, signaling a broader strategic message. According to regional defense briefings, hundreds of projectiles were launched in the first wave, including ballistic missiles and unmanned aerial systems. Air defense networks across the Gulf quickly activated, with several countries reporting large numbers of interceptions. Initial reports indicated that at least 282 incoming missiles and more than 800 drones were intercepted by combined air defense systems in the early stages of the operation. Targets were spread across a wide arc of the region, including Israel, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Iraq, Cyprus, Oman, and maritime areas near the Strait of Hormuz. This geographic spread highlights a key feature of the campaign. Rather than concentrating firepower in one location, the strikes appeared designed to apply pressure across multiple operational zones simultaneously. For military analysts, the most striking element was the timing and coordination. Even amid leadership disruption in Tehran, the response unfolded quickly, suggesting a system capable of executing pre-planned operations across the region with little delay. At the center of this regional escalation lies a clear strategic focus: key U.S. military installations across the Gulf. As the situation unfolded, Iranian state media confirmed that several major American facilities had been placed on the target list during the opening phase of the operation. These bases are not random locations. They represent the backbone of U.S. military logistics and air operations in the region. Among the sites identified were Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, Ali Al Salem Air Base in Kuwait, Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates, and the headquarters of the U.S. Fifth Fleet in Bahrain. Each of these installations plays a critical role in maintaining American military presence across the Middle East. Al Udeid alone hosts thousands of personnel and functions as a central hub for air operations and regional command coordination. The U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain is particularly significant. From this command center, naval forces oversee maritime security across roughly 2.5 million square miles of water, including the Arabian Gulf, the Red Sea, the Gulf of Oman, and key international shipping lanes. Military analysts note that targeting these locations sends a strategic signal. Rather than striking symbolic sites, the focus appears to be on facilities connected to command coordination, air operations, and naval logistics, systems that support large-scale regional military activity. Reports from regional authorities indicated disruptions at several key facilities, including Dubai International Airport, widely recognized as the world's busiest international travel hub. According to airport statistics, the facility handled around 90 million passengers annually before the crisis. During the height of the alert, flights were temporarily suspended as security teams assessed the situation and ensured passenger safety. Other major transit points were also impacted. Abu Dhabi International Airport and Kuwait International Airport reported operational interruptions, while Jebel Ali Port in Dubai, one of the largest container ports in the Middle East, experienced temporary disruptions to shipping activities. Strategically, these locations play a critical role beyond civilian travel. Airports and seaports are essential for military logistics, cargo transport, and the movement of equipment and supplies throughout the region. Analysts note that any disturbance to these networks can complicate the flow of aviation fuel, spare parts, and logistical support that sustain high-tempo operations across Gulf bases. This broader pattern suggests the campaign is not only about direct military targets, but also about influencing the wider operational environment surrounding them. According to official statements from defense authorities in the Gulf, a large number of incoming projectiles were intercepted during the opening phase of the operation. Initial figures indicated that at least 282 missiles and more than 800 drones were intercepted by the combined air defense systems of countries including the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, and Bahrain. These interceptions relied heavily on advanced systems such as Patriot missile batteries and THAAD interceptors, which are designed to track and neutralize ballistic threats at different stages of flight. However, military analysts point out that large-scale interception operations create another challenge: sustainability. Each interceptor launched represents a valuable and limited resource. In complex scenarios, defense systems may require 2 or even 3 interceptors to ensure the successful neutralization of a single incoming ballistic missile. As a result, the balance between incoming projectiles and available interceptor inventories becomes a crucial factor. The longer such high-tempo engagements continue, the more pressure builds on defensive networks tasked with protecting both military facilities and major population centers across the Gulf. One of the most critical questions now facing military planners is not only what has already been launched, but how much capability remains. Early assessments suggest that the opening wave represented only a portion of Iran's broader missile inventory, raising concerns about how long such operations could continue if the current pace is sustained. According to analyses from several defense research organizations, Iran is believed to possess one of the largest missile arsenals in the Middle East. Estimates frequently cited by security analysts indicate a stockpile of roughly 4,000 ballistic missiles of varying ranges, including both long-range and short-range systems. During the initial phase of the operation, reports suggested that around 300 missiles were launched in the first day alone, alongside large numbers of drones. If those estimates are accurate, it would mean that a significant portion of the arsenal could still remain available. At the same launch rate observed in the early phase, analysts suggest that Iran could theoretically maintain similar operational tempo for several additional days or even longer, depending on logistical constraints and the availability of launch platforms. However, the actual duration of such operations depends on multiple variables: airstrikes targeting storage facilities, the resilience of launch infrastructure, and the availability of missile defense interceptors across the region will all influence how the situation evolves in the days ahead. Beyond the missile exchanges and air defense activity, another critical dimension of this crisis lies at sea. The Strait of Hormuz, one of the most strategically important waterways on the planet, has suddenly moved to the center of global attention. According to maritime security monitoring centers in the region, a commercial oil tanker sailing near the northern entrance of the strait reported being struck during the height of the regional tensions. At the same time, several ships operating in the area received radio warnings advising caution while transiting the narrow shipping corridor. These developments immediately raised concerns about the security of a route that plays a vital role in the global energy system. The Strait of Hormuz carries roughly 20% of the world's seaborne oil supply each day, making it one of the most important energy choke points on Earth. On average, between 17 and 20 million barrels of oil pass through the strait daily, according to data frequently cited by international energy agencies and maritime monitoring groups. Even limited disruptions in this corridor can have immediate economic consequences. Shipping delays, insurance concerns, and security alerts can quickly ripple across global markets. For naval forces operating in the region, maintaining safe navigation through this narrow passage has long been a central mission, one that now faces renewed pressure as tensions continue to evolve. As the first wave of this regional confrontation settles, attention is rapidly shifting to one crucial question: what happens next? Military planners and analysts are now closely examining several possible paths that could shape the trajectory of the crisis in the coming days. One key factor is the balance between offensive capabilities and defensive systems. Earlier assessments suggested that around 300 ballistic missiles were launched in the opening phase, while regional air defense networks reported hundreds of successful interceptions. If the current tempo continues, the availability of interceptor systems, such as Patriot and THAAD, will play a critical role in maintaining the defensive shield over major bases and cities. Another major variable involves the condition of missile launch infrastructure and storage facilities. If ongoing military pressure successfully disrupts these assets, the pace of launches could gradually decrease. On the other hand, if launch systems remain operational, further waves could follow. Finally, maritime security around the Strait of Hormuz may become an increasingly important dimension of the situation. With roughly 1/5 of global seaborne oil passing through the strait, stability in this narrow corridor is closely tied to global energy markets. For now, analysts agree on one point: the next phase of this crisis will likely depend on how these strategic variables evolve in real time. The situation across the Middle East is evolving rapidly, with military activity, air defense operations, and global energy routes all under intense pressure. The next moves by regional powers could shape the balance of security in the Gulf for years to come. What do you think happens next? Will tensions stabilize, or could the crisis widen further? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more more updates. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next report.